Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of mine and something that I wanted to share with you that just came up for me over the last couple days. Again, it's going to be another episode about the empowered warrior. A simple guide to successfully navigate your emotional world, which is going to be my online course launching in March, which I'm super excited about. But first things first, for those who don't know me, my name is Isabel Hunt. I'm a certified transformation coach, public speaker, as well as published author of the book The Power of Faith-Driven Success, as well as emotions clearing practitioner. And I consider myself an empath warrior, which I coined that term after working with clients for the last 5 years and realizing a pattern. So that is something that is really dear to my heart. But I also but I teach and coach on the topic of emotions, and that's why this course came to life. People asked me, like, you're teaching a lot about it, can you do something online? And I was dreading it because, again, I haven't had too much experience or good experience with creating online courses, so I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to, but it feels right this time. And today I want to talk with you about the elephant in the room, fear. It seems to be coming up a lot lately where I've been like, I fear about my future. I fear about not being able to live my dream. I fear about that my illnesses are coming back. I fear about. Wow! And every guru is talking about, let's overcome fear, how to work with fear, how to work through it, and how to avoid it, and how to ignore it. And I don't know, and it's driving me crazy because I have created such a different relationship to emotions that sometimes I just want to shake people and was like, come on, it's not fear that's your problem. It's your beliefs and your stories that is the problem. Fear itself is not bad. And so I want to talk with you a little bit more about that today. And then again, there will be more in the course. But fear, for those who know David Hawkins, he wrote the book Force versus Power. And he has like a scale of frequencies and the different emotions. Each emotion has a different frequency. And it starts out with shame, guilt, apathy, I think then it's anger, and then it's fear. I don't have it in front of me right now, but somewhere there. And fear is actually not the... well, it's kind of in between. Like, it's a chance. Like, the vibration, the frequency itself is not really that low. It's so, therefore, fear itself, there's nothing bad or good. Like, about any energy, there's not any emotion, there's nothing bad or good about emotions. They are neutral. They are what we make them to. And a couple 100 years ago, I don't know when, people just determined that, oh, how you feel right now is sad, and we're just calling it sad, and we're calling it happy, and we're calling it fear, and we're calling it shame, and we're calling it guilt. From studies and experiences, people are on the similar frequency, so we just call that, and we just attach a meaning to each of those. So we made that up, meaning we also can change that. We can create a more powerful relationship to emotions, which will change your life forever. I promise you, because it certainly has for all of my clients and for me, because suddenly things don't appear as scary anymore, and you feel like, oh, actually, there's something my body's trying to tell me. What is it? So we learn to listen when we recreate our relationship to emotions instead of just reacting or getting totally stopped in our tracks or get paralyzed. So today, actually, fear has become such a big topic. Again, there's so many gurus about talking about fear and how fear is how to overcome fear. And I know that and people talk about, but what the Bible talks about fear a lot too. Most of the time God says do not fear. And it's more about the meaning behind that we have, the meaning behind fear. I haven't done any studies yet, so I don't even know what the Hebrew word for it is or how that's being translated. Again, because in when I read the German version of it, it feels differently to me than when I read the English version of it. So there's some interpretation room right there as well. But again, when even God says, fear not, fear is not bad, but listen to me, listen to my voice, listen to your heart, to your soul through which I'm talking to you, and you will know which way to go. So you don't have to fear. Like, again, fear is just a definition that we have created, where the root of all of that is your beliefs and your stories that are not in alignment with who you are. So from a spiritual viewpoint, fear tells us that we don't trust our own path or the next step that we know to take. If people say, I'm afraid, I fear that I get sick again, that means you do not trust in your own health, in your path for you. And what we fear usually resists, and what we resist persists. And the more we think about something, the more we create it. We create the reality of it, because it's what you focus on, you create more of. So fear is kind of like that trap. If we consider the definition that we have so far, oh my gosh, fear is something coming up, and I probably shouldn't do that, and it's keeping me paralyzed, and all those things, like we have to overcome it, I have to push through it. Then we focus so much on it that we actually create more of it. But if we recreate our relationship to it and just like, oh hey, fear is showing up, what is it trying to tell me, let me listen, let me meditate on it. What is something that I know I have to take actions on? Where am I not trusting my own path? Again, it usually shows up. It's actually great. Fear is something that we need to welcome in. I know people want to kill me for that. No, welcome fear in, because it means it's trying to tell you like, hey, you're ready. You can step that little step outside of your comfort zone. You're ready. Go for it. We just don't trust that if we go, we won't experience certain consequences like rejection, or making a fool of ourselves, not being accepted, being laughed at, being bullied, being made fun of, like whatever the stories that we have created. If I take that step outside of my comfort zone, this and this is going to happen. So it is about your belief and not about fear itself. Fear itself is just going to try to tell you, or trying to give you a message that is really important for you. And again, we're not talking about fear when you find yourself in dangerous situation, because when you actually physically find yourself in situations that are dangerous to you, that is the emotion of panic and terror. That's when your fight or flight instinct sets in. Again, and it feels similar to fear because often they show up in the same part of your body. You can pay attention to that. But physical danger is not necessarily fear, it's panic and terror. So it's deeper laying because you're actually finding yourself in danger. The fear that we're talking about when we don't want to go a certain way, that's a little different. Again, you don't trust your own path. In many cases, we can feel that forward movement when we do experience fear. We have that belief sitting within us that we don't, that we just can't. We can't take that next step. Whenever we are driven by the thought of fear, we hold on to it, eventually it becomes our mood. In my teachings, I talk about free flowing. That is a term that comes from Kohler McLaren, a wonderful teacher. But free flowing emotions versus something that we hold on to that becomes our mood, and then eventually that emotion gets trapped within our body, the energy of it gets trapped in our body, and that then can alter the functions of our organs. So therefore it influences our health in many different ways. Our health, our mental health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, and our physical health. So just know that. So if we hold on to fear, and when it becomes a mood, it is an indication that you are constantly focused on lack and danger and not on trust and confidence. Fear basically means that change is ahead of you, and that's a great thing, but I know we're resisting change, so it's often hard to just give in to it. It is like your soundboard that's trying to tell you, go for it. What actions do you know you have to take? What beliefs do you have to let go of to be able to move forward? Those are just a couple things that I think are really important to know about fear. And I've done a lot of study about it. And Carla McLaren actually says about free-flowing fear will make you intuitive, agile, balanced, and safe. Because when we experience fear and we actually have a healthy relationship to it, and we can distance ourselves to what we experience and just take a look at it, we can see that when fear shows up, our senses are very heightened. We're very attention focused, and we're really like that pierced view, like, okay, this is what's going on. Like we become really focused when fear shows up. So it's actually a really good thing. So when you experience free-flowing fear, you actually realize your intuition. Free-flowing fear equals intuition. Really interesting, isn't it? Because you're so focused, and if you can ask yourself the right questions, you can listen to your heart. And to your heart, it's the place where your soul is connected to. And again, I'm not going to explain the whole physical part about it. There's another video, are you supposed to trust your head or your heart, that I did last week, so you can check that one out. But again, when you're that focused on something and you experience that fear, you can ask yourself the right questions. So it does ignite that intuition, and you can feel safe and balanced within making those decisions, even if they are a little scary. Like okay, I don't know if I'm good enough for that, but okay, I know that's just in my head. Those are stories, and I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna trust. I have the confidence that I'm really called to take that step, and so I can trust God that He will show me and lead me. So it's actually a beautiful thing. Fear is actually really amazing to experience, and the more you feel it, the more you know you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. The more you learn to trust, the more you learn to listen to your intuition. So it's a great thing when we feel fear. Like if you have this fear that something might happen to one of your loved ones, like, oh my gosh, they're leaving the house, I have this fear that something could happen to them. It is a lack of trust in a higher power, in the divine, in God, that they are protected. So if you know that, okay, where am I not trusting? Where am I not co-creating with God? Where am I not trusting God in how things will work out, no matter what direction that will go? I have this fear that I will get sick again. Okay, what are stories? Am I still holding on to that energy that I experienced when I was sick? Can I let this go? Can I trust in moving forward without having to stay attached to what happened to my health? What can I change within my mindset and within how I feed my body to not have to experience that again? What changes need to be made? And those are all reflective questions that fear invites us to think about. And it's a great thing. So embrace fear. Invite it in. Don't try to push it away. Fear is not a liar. Fear is the stories and the beliefs that you have. Those are liars. They are not true and not in alignment with yourself. Fear is just that little notch, that soundboard. Hey, ask yourself the important questions. Are you trusting yourself? Do you think, are you confident? Do you know you can co-create with a divine power? Do you co-create with God? It's about being in the flow of life. And the more we try to avoid it, and the more we demonize it as what it shouldn't be, the more we're holding on to it. And the more we're holding on to it, again, then it becomes your mood. And when it becomes your mood, it gets trapped within your body. And then that alters your success in life. In entrepreneurship, that can cost you a lot of profit when you're trapped, when your emotions are trapped. The connection to other people, it can cost you in your relationships. I've seen it all. And I've heard it all from other practitioners too. So, yeah, it's just something to think about. And I hope that gave you a little bit of a different experience. And if you're interested in hearing more about all of that, stay tuned, because in March we're launching the course. We're on the track right now, so I'm super, super excited. There are going to be a lot of great videos and content and bonuses. So definitely stay tuned when we launch it in March. But I hope this video really helped you a lot to just and say, hey, there are other ways to think about it. It doesn't have to be all scary and creepy and crazy. I just have to reflect a little bit more. And really tune in with myself and listen instead of reacting every time some emotion shows up or withdrawing. Just stepping back and observing. That's all there is sometimes to do. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a very empowering place to be in. All right. Again, if you have any questions, send me a message. Let me know. My email, Isabel@faith-driven-success. And stay tuned. If you want to hear and stay up to date on the launch, you can sign up on my website, isabelhunt.com. I don't mass email. I don't send out too many emails. I have Monday affirmations, which are usually pretty awesome. I love them myself because I pre-create them and I never know what's happening every Monday. It's like, oh, that fits really well for me too today. And then a monthly newsletter, but definitely it will also keep you updated on everything that's going on with the course. Have an amazing, amazing day, and I am certain that I will talk to you again soon. Bye.